first part of this video, we have looked at the underlying rationale for collaboration, cooperation at supranational level. In this second part of this video, we will focus on the European coal and steel community as the first successful cooperation between the 6 founding fathers of the European Union. What was the Schuman Plan now really about? The main goal of the Schuman Plan was to stabilize relations between France and Germany, the 2 former war rivals. We should make no mistake about it. There may have been no war anymore at the time, but these countries remained arch rivals. The seal on their reconciliation would only be set 10 years later in the Treaty of Friendship signed in the French Élysée by the then French President de Gaulle and the German Chancellor Adenauer. The Schuman Plan started from the premise that it might be possible to refrain these states from settling disputes aggressively if it could be possible to bring them to functionally cooperate with each other. The underlying idea was as simple as genial. Keep your friends close and keep your enemies even closer. Try to prevent war not negatively by keeping states apart, but positively by bringing them together to functionally cooperate. And why did the choice fall specifically on coal and steel? Well, those were 2 raw materials which at the time were heavily used in the war industry to produce arms. The production and trade of these 2 materials was put under the authority of a supranational institution to prevent the rearmament of Germany and to allay the fears of France. The Schuman Plan would ultimately result in the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 1951 and in the creation of the European coal and steel community between 6 founding member states: Germany and France, Italy, and the 3 Benelux countries, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. The European coal and steel community would constitute the first significant step towards supranational European integration. 4 independent institutions were set up which had the power to bind the member states of this community. We had the High Authority, which is the main executive of the community with decision-making powers. There was the Assembly with a predominantly supervisory role. Thirdly, a Council with a predominantly advisory function, but also some decision-making powers. And fourthly, a court. By now, 60 years have passed since the creation of the European coal and steel community. The European integration process has substantially widened as well as deepened in these 6 decades. One thing has remained stable over these 6 decades. The continued adherence to long-lasting peace in the Union has never really seriously been questioned. That is a grand achievement. Now, for this contribution to the advancement of peace and reconciliation, democracy and human rights, the Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the 2012 Nobel Peace Prize to the European Union. In the words of its chairman, Mr. Thorbjørn Jagland, the European Union has contributed to the promotion of fraternity between nations and to the promotion of the peace congresses that Alfred Nobel wrote about in his will. Unmistakably, this prestigious award constitutes a grand achievement in itself. At the same time, equally unmistakably, it also constitutes or amounts to a moral obligation to keep up this promise of peace, certainly and perhaps even more so in difficult times such as these. I want to end with two final reflections. All the joy and contentment notwithstanding, it must also be observed that the award of the Nobel Prize has been met with considerable criticism. Yes, the Union may have been successful in keeping war outside its borders. At the same time, it is also clear that it was unsuccessful in preventing or stopping the disintegration of former Yugoslavia, one of its neighboring countries, even when it became painfully clear that the social unrest was degenerating into an atrocious civil war. This war memorial that is located in Mostar, in Bosnia-Herzegovina, contains a clear message. Don't forget. The Balkan War proved a real eye-opener or a forceful reminder to the EU that war may perhaps have become unthinkable. It has by no means become impossible. And secondly, one also should bear in mind that Europe would have never been able to pull off this feat only by itself. And it must be thankful for all the help it received from its friends, also from the United States. The Marshall Fund, providing financial help to rebuild Europe from the ashes after the war, was absolutely instrumental in all of this. Thank you for your attention.